This is twice, I think, that it has happened to me where it says cannot continue with live. There you go. All right, MaryAnn, sorry about that. I need you to connect, honey. So sorry about that, guys. This is like the second or third time that when I've gone Facebook Live, that the video says cannot continue. I don't know why it does that, but it's been doing that Groundhog Day. Huh, girl. It's been doing that to me. And now I can't connect. I know, I can't connect with you. Try it again, MaryAnn. And that's not letting me connect. This is twice, or maybe more. It just tells me Facebook Live cannot continue, and it just boots me out. I think it happened when I did the interview with Don. All right, I'm adding you. We're adding you. I'm adding you, MaryAnn. So I don't know why it does that. I don't know if Facebook. I don't know. But they better not start with that rules crap about Facebook Live. Oh God, connect.
There
There
we
she
go.
goes. Oh my goodness,
Yay!
girl. Yay, she's on. Welcome, my dear.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
I'm very good and extremely nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. You're fine. I like those glasses you had on.
Well, the other ones are great for reading and seeing far away, but because
Uh-huh.
I'm using my cell phone, you're pretty close, so it's too close
Yeah.
for my reading portion, so I need that middle. So these are my computer glasses.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, good, good. Well, these are my readers, and believe it or not, I can't see, so I have to put them on so I can see. I can see far, but I can't see up close, and I wear contacts.
Yeah.
So I always have my readers on. Yes. So thank you, my viewers, for watching. Thank you, MaryAnn. She says she's nervous, guys. Tell her there's no reason to be nervous, just to be herself, share her story, have fun. We're a fun group of women. Uh, I'm crazy. You know, MaryAnn's not. I don't think so, but I know I am. But so you're gonna have fun, and then the ladies here, they'll like. Lori's like, your hair's fine, Juanita, because I was fixing my hair because I had a piece of hair sticking up. She goes, your hair is fine, Juanita. So she had to bust me out. uh, my my friend Judy says, don't be nervous. Tell her, don't be nervous. She's gonna do great. So before we get started, I want to share the story how MaryAnn and I met. I love um, the story. So I'm going to have MaryAnn tell you ladies how we met. Oh my God, it's just an amazing story. And then we'll go into her story with living with lung cancer and the great advocacy work that she's doing in Canada. So go ahead, MaryAnn, tell them how we met.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Okay. So I was in Washington in 2016 at my first Hope Summit with longevity. And I had never gone anywhere by myself before. And here I was in this huge city of Washington, going to a conference about lung cancer, no less, and not knowing one person at this conference. So I was kind of just going through the hotel, right, seeing what was going on. And I see Juanita, and she's sitting on this couch in the lobby of the hotel. And I thought, I'm going to go over and I'm going to chat with her. But when I got there, I was kind of nervous. So I just sat down and, I looked over and I said, hi, how are you? And she looked at me and she said, fine, right? And I said, oh, would you happen to be here for the lung cancer conference? And she said, well, yes, I am. And she says, are you here for that too? And I said, yes. So we started to chat about her lung cancer because she was telling me about her treatment and things that she was doing for her lung cancer, and that she was an advocate for lung cancer. And I found Juanita's story extremely interesting. And then you know what, Juanita, I'm not sure if I asked you or you asked me if I was a believer. And I truly am a believer, and I think that's what brought Juanita and I together was our faith in God. And I am so thankful to him for bringing Juanita in my path because we have been friends ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And she shared with me, and I still have the pictures that I took Juanita. Juanita had these really helpful books with
Oh,
daily
yeah.
affirmations, and she thought that they would be very helpful to me to get me through
Mm-hmm.
my lung cancer journey. And so I will never forget that, like never, ever, ever forget that. And I think since then we have become good friends. I know that if
Mm-hmm.
I ever need support or if I have questions, that I can ask Juanita for her help. And she's
Mm-hmm.
always there for me to give me guidance in whatever way possible, and
Of
even
course.
spiritually as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Juanita and I met.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful actually to longevity because at that time there was nothing in Canada that I was very depressed at that time because I just
Mm-hmm.
found out that I had lung cancer and I knew nothing about lung cancer, not a thing. I just knew that in 1990 my father had passed away of small cell lung cancer. So, of course, I had that in the back of my mind, knowing that he didn't live very long with the diagnosis. And of course, I was so afraid, and I had just had surgery. By the way, it was found to be stage 1 lung cancer. Now, I was very fortunate. I was able to have surgery, right upper lobe lobectomy, and thankful to God for really, I think, saving my life and bringing me to that diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
So, or finding it early and
Yes.
giving me the push to go and get
Mm-hmm.
help and not to let up with that push. So, um, with that being said, longevity, I had gone to a conference there and found out that I wasn't alone. There were
Mm-hmm.
so many people there with lung cancer who it was just overwhelming. Like,
Mm-hmm.
in all actuality, all I did was cry, I think, the whole weekend because I thought, oh my gosh, like there really is people like me here because I felt so alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, should I just start with my actual
Yeah.
diagnosis?
Yeah. So, but real
Okay.
quick, yeah. So that's how we met. And I do remember giving you those books or telling you those books, or I forgot what. Yeah, I remember that. And yeah, because I was in the lobby sitting because my room wasn't ready and I was aggravated, so I just sat there. And then I see her and she kind of looked a bit lost, and then we just started talking and hit it off. And I think I asked you if I think I'm the one that asked you if you were a believer, and then that's how we got to talking about God and His faithfulness and His promises and what we need to do. And we've been, MaryAnn and I have been very close ever since. I'm there for her, she's there for me, and I've been trying to get her to do this video when I first started doing them, and she's like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no," and I'm like, "All right, I'll give her some time." And then she watched just about a lot of them, if not almost all of them, and then I think it built up her courage and her confidence to do it. And look, and she's here today. So maybe not then, but God works in people, and He was working in her because I told her there's not a lot of people that get diagnosed at stage 1. I think I had I think I interviewed maybe one more. I have to go back to my videos. I think I interviewed one person that was stage one. I think I'm almost certain. So you're the second one. So I need all stages, one, two, three, and four. So I do a lot of fours, but stage one is very important as well. And it is a
Hmm.
blessing that MaryAnn caught it early. And so here there goes Canadian in the house, Canadians in the house. Woohoo!
Woo!
That's right, Heather.
That's
You're
my
next.
other.
She's next. You're next.
Yes, she
So
is.
yeah. So go ahead, MaryAnn. So go ahead and start your diagnosis. How did you get diagnosed? If you had any symptoms, what were the symptoms? And then just share your story. Everything that from
Okay.
that point to now. Everything you've gone through, what you're going through, your blessings. Everything. So go ahead. It's all you now.
Okay, great. So in 2014, for about 6 months in that year, I was having a lot of neck pain. So it was in the carotid arteries.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm somewhat overweight, I thought, okay, I've got heart disease. And so I asked my family doctor if he would send me for all the necessary testing to find out if I had heart disease. So my blood pressure was good, my EKG was good, my ECG. I had a MUGA scan. Do you know what a MUGA scan is? I thought
No.
that was so weird. It's almost like a bone scan.
Mm-hmm.
So it travels over your chest very closely, and
Okay.
it takes images of your heart.
Okay.
Okay, so I had that done, and I had an echocardiogram. I had a Holter monitor. I had all of these things done, and they came back negative. But I was still having this pain in my neck,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't radiate from my chest. It just was in my neck, and it was so annoying. Like it was like a toothache. It just never went away. Even if I took, pain medication
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, it just never went away. So I was really getting concerned over that,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept, you know, asking for God's help and saying, Lord, whatever this is, please don't give up on me. Help me to get the answers that I need, because I was really becoming very, very overcome with that. I
Mm-hmm.
was starting to be very fixated on that pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at church, and I thought, once this service is over, I'm going to the Emerge. That's it. Well,
Mm-hmm.
on my ECG, I do know, because I worked in cardiology at one
Okay.
time, and I knew that I had a blip in my ECG that, if read correctly, they might think I was having a heart attack.
Oh wow.
So I was betting on the fact that when I went to the Emerge, they
Mm-hmm.
would see this and then they would admit me to hospital. Well,
Mm-hmm.
sure enough, they saw the ECG, they saw the blip, and they admitted me to hospital. And while I was in hospital, I begged the cardiologist. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I already know that there's nothing wrong, that I've had all these heart investigations, and I don't have heart disease. But I do know there's something. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it is. I have no idea, but I just don't feel well. And I was starting to feel somewhat fatigued,
Mm-hmm.
and fatigue that is just not normal. Like it
Right.
wasn't normal for me. I was always very active. Now I had this fatigue that was very overwhelming. And so that doctor, I'm telling you, he did everything, like everything to investigate further.
Mm-hmm.
So I even had an angiogram. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't wish that on anybody actually, because oh my gosh, here I knew it wasn't my heart, and I still had to have an angiogram, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Anyway, so when they admit you in Canada, I don't know if they do this in the States, but one of
Mm-hmm.
the things they do upon admission is they do a chest X-ray. Now, I had had a chest x-ray 6 months previous,
Okay.
and it showed nothing. So after coming back from the angiogram, the cardiologist said to me, he said, we did the chest x-ray and we saw a shadow. So we'd like to do a CAT scan and see just if that shadow is something, that we need to be looking at. So the next day I had a CAT scan and it came back that I had a lesion on my right upper lobe. And so, you go for the biopsy, you go for, further testing, and it came back that, yes, I had lung cancer. Now, I had a 2.5 centimeter lesion, which was a fair size. And so the doctor told me that I was a candidate for surgery, that they would refer me to a surgeon. And I did. I went to see the surgeon and he said, yep, absolutely, we can take that out. He goes, I won't know until I'm in there and see what's going on, if there's, any metastases anywhere else. We'll see what happens and I'll let you know further after the surgery. So, okay, fine. So they removed it. But then he told me that I would not need any further treatment. And, in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking about my dad, right? And I'm thinking, how can this be, right? Now, I know that I had an early diagnosis, but I didn't know how significant that was at the time, because I also knew there was no cure for lung cancer. So I kept thinking, oh my God, they've taken out this upper right lobe, but is it going to come back? Like, is this cancer going to come back? So like everybody else, I felt that extreme worry continually. Every little ache and pain was cancer, And I mean, I still feel that. I'm sure that so many of us do. Yes. You think right away. I mean, I've had knee cancer, I've had earlobe cancer, since, because I blame every little ache and pain on cancer, right? I kind of think because I got it early, right? Yeah. So now, and even now, it's 5 years. I've been 5 years cancer free. I still, when I get an unusual ache or pain, I'm like, So I'm not any more unusual than anybody else that's been given a diagnosis of lung cancer. The only difference is I was fortunate enough to catch it early. Yes. And to be aware of the symptoms that I was having and to pursue them. I mean, I was very lucky that the doctor even listened to me. Why would a doctor listen to you when you say, I have neck pain, right? Yeah. But I guess I was convincing enough. And he knew me well enough as well to know that I didn't complain about anything, right? Right. So for me to continue to come and to bother him and then to go to the hospital, like, I don't even like visiting a hospital. Never mind, deliberately going to see. Right. So after that, I, still told, no, we'll check you every 3 months. Then 6 months, then 1 year. And that's how they treat it in Canada. They don't follow you like they do in the United States. So at the 6 month mark, I was freaking out, okay? Because I thought, this is not right? Like, I needed to get more information now. So I started searching the web. There was nothing really in Canada at that time. There wasn't a whole lot of information out there for patients. So I was praying about it, Juanita. Good. And I remember just crying my eyes out because I needed to know more and I needed to know genuine facts. Because as we all know, there's a lot of information on the internet and it's not necessarily the truth. Or it's old information. And I wanted to know current information. So I'm not kidding you. I was on my computer and searching, searching, searching. Next thing you know, longevity pops up, like just out of the blue. Okay, it just pops, right? And so I start reading everything on their site, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. This is the information that I've been looking for. And that's when I saw that you could apply for a grant to attend the Hope Summit. Well, this was in March, 1 month before Hope Summit. And so I right away applied, right? Thought, they're not going to accept me. I'm from Canada. There's no way they're going to accept me. Well, then I get a me, and I'm able to then move forward, to go to this conference. And I was so excited. I was just so excited. So Katie Brown actually reached out to me, and because I told her that I was really nervous about traveling on my own, and that I wanted to make sure that this was exactly what I needed. And so she confirmed everything. She was awesome. She really is such an awesome individual. And she made me feel like so at home and so normal about everything. And that for sure, if I had any reservations ever, that I could always reach out to her and she would always be a friend. And, to this day, she has held true with that. So I found the longevity organization at that time to be extremely helpful. And I have been there now 3 times to the Longevity Hope Summit. And, I can't tell people enough how much that I was able to benefit. And actually, that's how I met Heather Hogan, because she was the only other person from Canada there at that Hope Summit. Okay. Now, during the summit, I never got a chance to actually, I did sit by her, but it was so busy and things were happening. And, I just didn't get a chance to really talk to her while we were at Hope Summit. So on the way back, we were traveling, and I met her at the Philadelphia airport again. Oh, so this cool. is God's intervention. Okay. So he does this stuff to me, Juanita, and I just have to pay attention to it. So anyway, Heather and I started talking about how much we loved the summit and how much we needed to do something like this in Canada. And so we exchanged numbers, and we would contact each other to then start talking about our advocacy in Canada. So in 2016, Heather and I made a pact that we were going to make a difference in Canada. And it has been slow, but we now have started the Canadian Lung Cancer Advocacy Breathe Hope page on Facebook. And it is for Canadians. It was our dream, and we brought it together. And now we have a couple of other advocates that help us with our page as well. And we are so excited because now we have 64 members. Oh, and awesome. I know it's not huge, but to us, it's massive. Yes. To us, it is massive because we also have caregivers, and they're across Canada. So we have, we go from British Columbia to the Maritimes, and we have advocates right across Canada in this small group. So every day or every week, it seems like we're getting 1 or 2 more people. So we're really, really happy about that. And what else do I want to say? I read a few. It's okay. Go ahead. Right. Yes, go ahead. Okay. So my advocacy, I've been working quite a bit with Lung Cancer Canada, because now Lung Cancer Canada has more education in lung cancer on their site. So their site is much, of course, it's way bigger than ours, but they have kind of taken the advocates that are across Canada
Mm-hmm.
under their umbrella, and they are giving us like almost free reign. As long as
Mm-hmm.
we connect with them and tell us what we're working on, they're really good about giving us the hope that we need and
Mm-hmm.
to develop the education and give us the materials that we need. So I do what's called an awareness table at our local cancer center,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to do it once a month.
Okay.
I'm finding that it brings the materials that I get from Lung Cancer Canada. I'm able to share that information with the patients that I meet at the hospital. So I
Okay.
must say, I've only met one other that has decided to do a little bit of her own advocacy. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, most of the patients don't want to do advocacy, and that's fine, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. But they do know I always give them my card with my phone number on it and my email address so that if they want, they can reach out to me, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's just to talk, just to chat, because we also don't have a lung cancer support group here. So, I feel like all the way around in this area, we're failing our lung cancer patients. And because of our confidentiality in Canada, it's really hard for us to get personal information
Yeah.
about patients here. So without that, like I'm constantly, Anita, I'm giving out cards all the time. Like my elevator conversation is always about lung cancer. It doesn't matter where I am, I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about lung cancer in some way, shape, or form.
Form.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I was at a church function on the weekend, and just talking in that little crowd that I was in, I met three people that have lung cancer in that group
Wow.
of people that came from other churches. So I was
Mm-hmm.
really happy that now they have my information and we can
Mm-hmm.
exchange information. And so it's very slow here, but I also live in a very small city.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I hope, I hope to do, I'm really very busy. I
Mm-hmm.
volunteer for a lot of things. I have my poker in a lot of fires, but my main focus, of course, is in lung cancer.
Right.
So I do spend a lot of time with that. And of course, I'm on Twitter and, I don't do Instagram because I just find a lot of, it's more personal and it doesn't stay on, well, I just don't know a whole lot about Instagram.
Yeah.
And I don't think at this point that I really want to either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in way too much as it is. So anyway, right now I'm just focused, okay, on making sure this Facebook page runs smoothly, that we
Mm-hmm.
have the best information coming forward from stage 1 to stage 4. We have
Mm-hmm.
each one of those stages are filled, so that's good. Like we have people that can talk about it. And what else? Um,
Okay, talk.
cancer.
So before we get into what you did last week, I just wanted to let you know you are doing an amazing job in Canada. And even though it's slow, don't worry. God sets our steps. He knows what he's doing. So you continue doing what you do. Um, God, I was going to say something and I just went, whew. Oh, on here, let's see. Yes, yes, Heather, I'm going to have MaryAnn talk about that as well. The living room in Toronto that she did last week, of course. That was on my agenda
Okay.
already. Um, yeah, Rhonda said, love these Juanitas. Well, thank you, sweetheart. I do these interviews not only to educate and bring awareness, but to help each other out because it could be someone is watching right now who is a lung cancer survivor and is feeling down or got bad news or something, and these videos would just uplift them. And so
Mm-hmm.
I do this. I do this because I do it out of my heart. God put it in my heart to do it, and I'm doing. And I just do whatever. I try to be as obedient. Not all the time. I'm not obedient, but I try to be as obedient. So yeah. So I do confess. God knows my heart. But MaryAnn, you're doing such a great job. And it's just such a blessing uh, that you caught yours at stage one. I know many of us, wish. And you know what's more of a blessing is that you had symptoms at stage one. I was stage
Hmm.
three, and I didn't have symptoms until I don't know, until I started with the wheezing. And by the time I was diagnosed, I was stage three. So maybe at that point I was stage two. Who knows? But you got symptoms
Yeah.
already at stage one. And I don't now,
Hmm.
guys, all my lung cancer family that are watching on the comments, let me know or try to recall when you got diagnosed. Before you got diagnosed, did you have any symptoms, and or was it until you were told you were stage four? I guess that's my question, because I had no symptoms. I started wheezing, and then it went to a horrible cough, and then boom, stage 3B. But MaryAnn got symptoms at stage one, and so that, and
Hmm.
you being your own advocate and you knowing your body, and that was God tugging
Hmm.
at your heart. Go, go, push,
Yeah.
push, don't. That's all him. That's why we say, but God. So that is such a blessing, and thank you for sharing that. People out there that
Hmm.
are not any type of lung cancer survivors or cancer survivors, you guys are pretty much healthy. Listen to what MaryAnn's saying. Listen to your body. And don't be afraid to
Hmm.
go to the doctor, because it might not be cancer. Praise God. Hopefully, you guys don't go through what we
Yeah.
go through, but it could be high blood pressure. It could be, it could be
Hmm.
something. So
Yeah.
yes, listen to your body. Now, Lori said stage 3A, she had a tickle in her throat, managed with cough medicine, diagnosed with pneumonia. So did I. Jan says her symptoms were only at stage 4. See, um, Carol Ann said no symptoms, stage 1. Wow. Heather said
Hmm.
hers was accidental finding. Michelle said she had a dry cough. Callie said her symptoms at stage 4. And Bobby says she was stage 3B like me, and she didn't have now one symptom. See, and that's what I'm saying. Everyone is different. And don't be afraid to go to a different doctor for confirmation. Yes, Kelly, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yes, and that was a blessing, because you're so faithful, and that was a blessing, and God, for you to get symptoms at stage one, that's a blessing, and thank God every day, every day. But now that being said, tell the audience, talk about your living room experience. Terry says sinus infection. Wow. Talk about your experience doing the living room. Some people might know about it, some people don't. Newbies might not know about it, and non-cancer, lung cancer people won't. So talk about that, and then I'll read the other comments.
Okay. So I'm not sure. I would say on your end more so the Go-To Foundation with Bonnie Adario.
Mm-hmm.
um, Last year when we were at World Lung in
Mm-hmm.
Toronto, Heather Hogan and myself uh, had a breakfast meeting with David Leduc, who is right hand man to Bonnie
Oh,
Dario.
okay. Uh-huh.
So when Heather and I met with him, we discussed Go-To Foundation. Well, at that time, it was the Bonnie Dario Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We asked if they had ever thought of coming to Canada to do a lung cancer living room, because we felt that it would be really beneficial,
Mm-hmm.
because we still, as Canadians, lack that ability. The doctors here have, they're learning now, but they still have that, they don't have that ability to reach out and ask their patients to advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're still shy of that. So we only have very few that will talk and feel
Mm-hmm.
confident enough to discuss with patients and doctors, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and survivor advocates. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so um, at that time when we met with David, he said for sure that he would discuss it with Bonnie and, see what would happen. So Heather and I never really heard anything. Mm-hmm. And we thought, okay, they have so many places that they go to. We really didn't think it would ever happen in Canada. So when we found out that they were actually coming and they were going through one of our large cancer centers, which is the Princess Margaret Hospital in Toronto. So they were bridging that US-Canada gap, right, in advocacy. And I was just so excited because I thought, oh my gosh, this is international now, right? And we are the first ones to be on her international scope. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. I have to go, right? So I didn't register. I didn't know what to do, really. So I had no idea because I thought, do you phone them? Do you email them? Like, how do you get invited to this event, right? So anyway, as it was, I spoke to Michelle through GoTo Foundation, and she goes, "Oh yeah, you just show up." I'm like, "Okay," like, you could have 100 people, or you could have nobody, right? We'll see what happens. Anyway, so there was very few of us, I have to say. I was a little bit disappointed in that, but I think it goes back to having the doctors, and not the doctors that were speaking, but the organizers at Princess Margaret. I think they didn't realize how important that this event could be if they just, sent out a huge blast of information and invite like the world to it, right? So I think it was not orchestrated on their part very well. I wish I would have had some input, because I would have invited the whole of Canada to that event, because I've had experience with them. So I would have been able to share that. So other people in Canada would be more apt to want to attend, want to come in. Anyway, so at that event, I got to meet Danielle Hicks, which is Bonnie Adario's daughter. And oh, she is just such an angel. Like, she is an awesome, awesome woman. Very, very supportive, very, couldn't reiterate enough to me that we will share all the information we have with you. If you need anything, here's my card. You just message me and I will send you whatever it is that you need to do your advocacy in Canada, so that we don't duplicate it, right? Because quite often, we're working on duplication all the time. And even though we're in Canada and our laws and our rules are a little bit different, it's still lung cancer, right? And it still does cross the border no matter what. And Princess Margaret is actually, I believe they work along with Sloan Kettering. So any of the research being done usually is between Sloan Kettering and Princess Margaret. So they do a lot of work together, as well as, I think, Mount Sinai in New York. So that's how it goes. Anyway, so here I am at this lung cancer living room. Now I'm really nervous because I'm going to be like, that many more people are going to be viewing it. So I'm like, oh, how do I'm more behind the scenes, right? I'm not that person that is getting their picture taken or trying to be flashy. I really try to ignore all of that. But this was so important for me to be there. So we had two speakers, Dr. Frances Shepherd, who really works more with research than she does as an oncologist, and Dr. Lyle. She is unbelievable. She is the best oncologist that they have at Princess Margaret in my eyes, okay? And she has so much information. And I don't care where you are, if I was to approach her, she would stop to talk to me. And if I had any questions about lung cancer that I needed to have her input or her inspiration with, she would not hesitate to talk to me. So in that lung cancer living room, they spoke about early diagnosis in lung cancer and how significant it is. They talked about the stigma, and that was huge because, as you know, we have a huge stigma behind lung cancer. And in all honesty, whether you smoke or you don't smoke, it doesn't matter. To get lung cancer is devastating, no matter what. So, we have campaigns that are going on here now that we're trying to eliminate that. So they broached on that and how it is between the US and Canada, and that we both share that very same thing, that stigma, right? And as you know, and Juanita, it's how are we going to change that? We need to work internationally to stop that stigma. Now, I know I'm just going to go off the living room for a second, but I do know that the Lung Association here is, I guess in New Zealand or Australia, they have quite a high incidence there of smokers. So they did a campaign that was strictly about smoking and the stigma behind it. Well, when the Lung Association here decided to do this campaign, they wanted to know, everybody to know that there's a stigma when you say that I'm a non-smoker, right? Because then you're stigmatizing the smokers. So you're adding to that stigma by saying that. So the Lung Association here is really trying to make a point that it doesn't matter, right? Whether you smoked or you didn't smoke, right? It's still a stigma. So we need to end the stigma on both sides. Okay. So that's what they talked about at the living room. They also talked about mouse models in cancer, because we don't, in Canada, we have all these organizations that are against using animals in research. But however, it's important, as we know, to sometimes use mice, say, for example. So they talked about actually physically giving mice lung cancer at different stages and how that they would treat the cancer that they were giving these mice. I found that to be fantastic, right? Because they were literally giving them different mutations. So EGFR mutations, ROS1 mutation, ALK mutation, right? And then they would go back to the they would use physically patients' tumors to put in them. They were naming the mice too. We actually had Larry Friedman there, and I named his mouse Larry. So because apparently one of the mice there, they were checking for is it BRAF? Is that what they say? Or, BRAF. Yeah. So I just said, "Oh, Larry, that's yours." I don't know if it is or not, but I just said that's yours. So those findings will be coming out on how, like, something that simple, to give this tumor and put it into a mouse for them to develop your type of cancer and for them to be able to treat that. I mean, it's phenomenal, the research being done. Okay. I'm really sorry, but I forget now anymore that we really talked about the lung cancer living room. I think because I was just so enthralled with being there, I was still starstruck. So
no. But you know what?
Maybe Heather can remind me.
But the story, the information that you're sharing about the mice and that they're putting, that is so interesting. I mean, I'm like, you're talking and I'm just like, oh, wow. Like, I'm so intrigued. I'm so happy that, that someone's doing something to get more information about all these darn mutations that we have. That is just so amazing. And that's being done in Canada, correct?
In Canada, yes.
That is
Yeah. At
amazing.
Princess Margaret.
At Princess Margaret. That is amazing, amazing. Wow. Thank
Hmm.
you, Canada, for doing that. So real quick, since you forgot what else you were gonna say, let's some of these are real funny. And then so yeah, someone okay, so okay, did Carol Ann, let's see. Okay, Sherry says, I remember saying 3 years before my primary doc, something doesn't feel right, but she couldn't hear anything, so I let it go. Then breathing issues, and boom, stage 4. And the pleural lining. Wow. Don, oh God, I just lost it. Because, hold on, where's Don at? Don was, oh, here he is. Don, no symptoms, stage 4, 09. I hiked 21 miles. He said this when I interviewed him. 21 miles, 4,000 feet. A week later, tumor blocked 90% of his bronchus. Wow. Terry goes, love you, Mary. And then Barbara says symptoms, but not related to the lung cancer stage 1. Debbie said found in screening program, no symptoms. Oh, Terry goes, Canadian accent. What the hell? LOL. So she's saying that. And then Barb said found by checking unrelated issue. Callie said Bonnie's amazing as she is. And then Heather replied to Terry, really? She was, and we think you guys have an accent, us, the Americans.
And Terry does have an accent.
Yes, we are. Well, that's the Midwest accent. That's good. Um, oh, and then Jan told Don, just consider yourself the king to us ladies. So Don is our king. So Don, we bow down to the king.
Yes, he is. Dr. Don.
Yes. And then Bobby said, if you have lungs, you can get lung cancer. We all know that. Yes, we all do.
Yeah.
Jan said, oncologist I saw in London, Ontario, regarding the octane study, told me they are beginning to work with one of the largest tissue testing place in the United States, which is called the Foundation Medicine. Yes. And then she says, yeah, we are starting to share more with the United
Yeah.
States. It was good to hear this. Yes, Jen, very good to hear
Hmm.
it. Very good. So
Yeah.
even though lung cancer, it is a slow progress, but in my, because my 5 years is in November. So in my almost 5 years from when I was diagnosed to now, I see lots of great things happening in lung cancer. Yes, it's slow, but you know what? I remember when I was first diagnosed, and then the following year, my church, they do the Daniel fasting, and I couldn't really fast because, I take targeted therapy. And I remember they gave us a sheet of paper, and I had told my pastor, well, I could probably fast like half a day. No, it was a strict diet. I'm like, look, I'm not giving up my coffee. I'm not doing all that. I love God, but I'm not doing that. So I did the fasting that I did was I would fast from 6 a.m. until noon, and then I would eat because I had to take my targeted therapy pills and all that. So that was my fasting. And I remember fasting, and you fast in the beginning of the year, and you pray and you fast for the things that you want. Now, guys, I was diagnosed 2014. I'll never forget this, MaryAnn and audience. It was 2016. So it was January 20, I'm sorry, 2015. January 2015, I started doing the fasting. They gave us a sheet of paper and they said, write your prayers, what you want to fast for. And I remember fasting for complete healing for me, and my prayers. And I remember saying, Lord, let the research for lung cancer just explode.
Yes.
Let researchers just come up with amazing, medicine, and let the more medicine be FDA approved, and that stigma to end. But my thing was more, our 5-year survival rate at that time was about 10%. I said, Lord, bring that number up. And I remember praying for that. I remember writing it in the little book they gave us, and fasting. And I swear to you, when that year, when I went to the Hope Summit, was it 20? Yeah, 2015, when I went to the Hope Summit, I remember, I forgot what oncologist was there and just gave amazing news that FDA was going to approve like so many, I can't remember the number, so many. And I was like, wow. And then from that point, lung cancer, I mean, it's slow, yes, but it's been doing, making great progress. And I'll never forget that, MaryAnn. I
Mm.
remember fasting and praying and doing that. And look where we're at. 5 years to almost, yeah, 5 years to almost the date that I was diagnosed. It's just looking. Now you're saying about the
Yes.
rats, and Jan is talking about, now, they're working with what is it, Foundation Medicine, and big we're making big progress. The problem
Hmm.
is the federal funding, the funding. But today, guys, I went in July with the Go To Foundation, and I went up to the Hill and I spoke. So I had two senators and a congressman. The one senator did not meet with me. I don't know why, but of course you know me. I sent them an email, and I was I was nice. I wasn't mean. I was nice. So the congressman, and here he's my congressman here in my region. Of course, he's on board with the funding that was promised to us, which was 20 million, and then it was taken away. And I think they wanted to give us 9 million, and then it went up to 14. And we're like, no, 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 we want the 20 million that you promised us for lung cancer research. We want that 20 million. So when I went up there, I remember going to Senator Young's office, and it was a young kid there, and I think I scared the crap out of him. But hey, that's just me. And talking to him, and I basically said, look, there's a lot of, and this is what I do know. There's a lot of Hispanic women being diagnosed here in the United States, but they're not getting the treatment, the proper treatment. You know why? Because they're afraid that they're going to get deported. They're afraid that they're going to call ICE and deport them. So these women are dying like this because they're
Hmm.
afraid, because this president of ours put that fear. So these women are not getting the proper care because of fear. So I told this young guy, I go, you know what? This has nothing, there's no race here. There's only one race, young man, and that's the human race. And we should all work together. We should all help each other. We should all love each other like God tells us in the Bible. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Love, love, love,
Hmm.
because love will conquer all. And then I
Hmm.
remember telling him, and forget about the political party. You're Republican, I'm Democrat. Forget about that. There is no party. There should be one party, and that's for all of us to live a long, healthy life, to help each other. I really like, I mean, I was pounding my hand on the table. I was really, and of course, I think I cried on one of them. I don't know which one I cried at, but I was very passionate. And then we talked about the stigma, and he's like, there's a he goes, oh, I forgot who, I don't know if it was Bobby or Terry or me, but one of us, we said, because they combined Illinois and Indiana together, so we went to each other's. And something about, the way we're being looked at, we're being judged. Bobby and Terry, if you're still watching, exactly when I went to see my senator, what came up? I don't type it in there because I don't really remember. But he was he couldn't believe that people would look at us and say, oh, you have lung cancer, well, and then the stigma, judge us, well, you shouldn't smoke, whatever. And then I think Bobby
Yeah.
I think Bobby was the one that said yes, they do. And this young kid wasn't shocked, so he learned something that day. So he took the folder, and he said that he will, show it to my senator or whatever, and blah blah. She goes, I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone last July. Well, thanks a lot, Bobby. You're no help. so, so, so today I got it. I know she's crazy. So today, guys, I got an email from Senator Braun saying that he is going to be a co-sponsor for the bill for us to get our 20 million.
Oh, Oh,
So
good.
leaving the folder and probably that kid sharing with him my story and how I felt, because I'm very passionate about it. He he says he and when I opened up the email this morning and I looked, I was like, oh, I said, oh my God, I was so excited. He's a co-signer. And then I forward the email to Eldridge from Go To Foundation. So I haven't even checked my email. And I told my husband Steve, and he was like, wow, really? And he was excited. I told him when I picked him up for lunch. And it was just like, it was just amazing. So people are starting to understand the importance of educating,
Mm-hmm.
of advocating, and to stop the stigma. They are, but you still have ignorant people out there, um,
Yeah.
and but you know what? I tell our lung cancer family, if they ask you, and a lot of people get angry. Don't get angry, guys. If they ask you, if they say it rudely or if they say it, with concern or sincerely, they're like, "Oh, did you smoke?" You could tell.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
don't get upset. Don't go off. Don't snap. Educate them. Say, you know what? Does it really matter if I did or didn't smoke? Because, like Bobby says, if you have lungs, you could get lung cancer too. You don't have to smoke to get lung
Mm-hmm.
cancer. You could get it from radon gas. You could get it from pollution. You could get it from whatever. So just educate them. And once you educate them, believe me, because I've done this, they'll kind of like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
and then you just educated someone that pray to God that they never get diagnosed, or maybe someone that they know or family member will get diagnosed and they're going to remember what you told them about lung cancer. So don't
Mm-hmm.
get upset, don't go off and snap. Educate every, like MaryAnn says, she talks about lung cancer, talks about it at the elevator, wherever she's at. That's what you do. Educate people and just tell them,
Mm-hmm.
it's up to you if you want to say yes or no. It's really none of their business. But I'm nice enough. I'm like, no, but does it matter if I did? I mean, do you think I
Mm-hmm.
deserve lung cancer if I did? So like turn it around. And I mean, if they're rude, well, you have no choice. So I've been rude to people. I mean, they had said some nasty things to me, and I'm like, well, ma'am or sir, you're overweight. You probably have a heart
Yeah.
issue or you have diabetes, but that's because all the junk food, the bad foods that you eat. So do you deserve to get heart or diabetes because of the food you put? Do you? And they
Yeah.
look at me like I'm crazy. So if they're being rude, that's how what I tell them, and then they back off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I could be rude, but I try not to. So,
Juanita,
mhm,
I would like to just tell everyone who's
yes,
listening that I am one of the lucky ones, and I do thank God every day for the life that He has given me. And I want everybody to know that I do this advocacy for all of you, for everybody who has lung cancer. And I won't stop
amen.
until I can't breathe. So I will always, 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 always do this for you
Yes,
and everybody else who has lung cancer and for those to come. You
yes.
know, it's just I'm very extremely passionate about it, and
Mhm.
I just won't give up. So I just wanted everybody to know that
That's
because it is
awesome.
important to me. It's very
Yes.
important to me.
And I know I could see it. I seen it when I first met you. I seen how you advocate throughout the 5 years that I've known you, and I could see the passion in you, just like everyone could see the
Hmm.
passion in me. Because I don't want no one to die of lung cancer anymore. I'm tired of losing, friends and that I've met.
Yeah,
And Steve, even it affects my husband Steve, and he's my caregiver. Um, he was like, Juanita, I don't want to meet anymore. I don't want to get close to them because they die. And he takes it pretty hard. And I told him,
yeah,
this is our life now. So you have to just
hmm,
embrace it and know that it was their time to go. But before they left the impact. And we are here now to pick up them pieces and still bring awareness and still. So thank you, MaryAnn, for what you do in Canada, because you are making a difference in Canada. And we all could see it. United States could see it, and it brings me joy that both the countries can unite, and I hope that other countries can unite. We could all unite and end lung cancer, end the stigma, just end it. Like they say, they want it to be a chronic disease. I truly
Yeah.
believe, I believe it in my heart that that's like right around the corner. That's going to happen very soon with all the wonderful research. And then, us lung cancer survivor, we become advocates. And then, you got some that just focus, let's say, on early detections, and you got some that just focus on, you know, oh God, I can't even think right now. Like the science part, which is fine because I like it all. I try to learn it all. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Me
I'm busy,
too.
but I do. I try to learn it
Yeah.
all. And then you have people that just does it just to bring hope and to be there for them and to pray over the whatever. Then you have, so there's different types of advocacy in the lung cancer
Yeah.
world, but you know, the bottom overall, we're united and we help each
Hmm.
other and we work with each other and we support each other. So, there's a lot of people that don't want to do advocacy. That's fine. I know that there's a lot of people that are diagnosed with lung cancer and they will not say that they have lung cancer because of the stigma.
No.
And
Yeah.
but I've met some people, I've spoken or I've heard from other people that they won't because they feel guilty because they brought it upon themselves because they did smoke. And I tell them, no,
Mm,
no, no, take that guilt out of you. No,
yeah.
stop it, stop it. Join us, join our force to because okay, just next week is going to be breast cancer awareness month in October. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but we need to put November out there. November is
Out
lung
there.
cancer. Okay, I'm tired of seeing pink. I want to see white. I want to see pearl white. I want to see pearls. I want to see whatever other than pink because not only, yeah, breast cancer does matter, but so does lung cancer. So does pancreatic cancer, which is another bad one. So does
Hmm.
brain cancer. All these other cancers, childhood cancer, it all matters. And if not, then let's do purple all year round. Purple's for all cancers. So please
Yes.
don't be afraid to share your story. Um, don't have that guilt. Don't be ashamed. Please don't. And if you ever need to talk to anybody, there's a huge lung cancer community out there in
Yes.
Facebook world and Twitter world and Instagram world, probably even in Snapchat. I don't even know. I just use Snapchat for my gym. But there's a huge world out there. Reach out to one of us and talk and let us help you and join forces with us so we can make a difference. And that's what I pray for. And I know it's going to happen. And I truly believe that God, I know my friend Judy says, God puts people in your path. I truly believe that, MaryAnn. We met
Yeah.
5 years,
Yeah.
yeah, 5 years ago. There's a
Yeah.
reason
5 years ago.
yes, God put us in each other's path. He really did.
Hmm.
And look at we're a beautiful, big, happy family. And I truly believe that, God allows things to happen and he knows who's going to go out there and do his work. And we're doing his work for lung cancer. The devil gave us lung cancer, but he turned around for good. Because, all right, you're going to be healed, you're going to be healed, you're going to be healed, and this is what you're going to go do. And so we're making a
Hmm.
difference out there. And I truly believe in that. And it's not God's doing, it's Satan's doing, but God gave us choices. God allowed that animal
Yeah.
to do what he does, but it's up to us to hold on to his faith and to believe and to do his will, and
Hmm.
to serve him. And that's what we both do. And I know a lot
Yeah.
a lot of our community does. A lot are non-believers, and that's fine, you know.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that. And so MaryAnn, so share. Your story is awesome, and I knew it would be. I don't know why you were so nervous, but I know you have great advice for not only your Canadian lung cancer family, but for the United States lung cancer family. Um, what would you like to tell us? Your hopes, or just some words of encouragement, inspiration. What would you like to share with both the U.S. and the Canadian people?
Okay, so I would like to share that one day that this is just a chronic illness and that the hope that we all share that one day we can have one great big party
Mhm,
and celebrate our wellness.
mhm,
And I want you, Juanita, to know how much you're appreciated you're doing these videos. I just love them. I love listening to everybody's stories. I've learned so much. And through you, without me crying, have helped me to get where I am today. So I
Awesome.
really do thank you for everything you do for each and every one of us every day of your advocacy. And thanks for sharing it with me because I do appreciate it.
Thank you. You know, I'm
That's
crying
it.
over
That's my
here.
words of wisdom, everybody.
Well, thank you, MaryAnn. That was so sweet and kind of you. And um, I did get emotional. I am emotional because my pastor one time told me, I was up in the altar praying, and he told me, he comes up to me, he puts his hand on me, and he goes, Juanita, I know that you want to help everyone and you want to heal everyone. You want to save everyone. And that is the God honest truth. If it's not
Yeah,
lung cancer or cancer, it's through
it's
faith,
something. Yeah.
knowing God, through my gym, helping people
Hmm.
get healthier. Um, you know, if God could give me the gift of healing, God, I'd go around and heal people in the name of Jesus, and everyone
Yeah.
will be, you know. But I mean, I know it's not
It
really
doesn't work
like, I
that
mean,
way.
yeah, you know, God knows what He's doing, and so it just, you know, and I just continue to do His will, and you know, and do the best that I can, and even if I help or encourage or give someone hope through these videos, or you know, me sharing stuff on Facebook, or you know, my, you know, if I meet someone in the street and they're having a bad day and I just pray for them or whatever the case, I know that I'm doing His will. And so it touched me when you said that it helped you, and I'm so
Hmm.
happy that it did help you, and I just hope that I'm helping many others out there, and that I sincerely mean it from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, I'm kind of emotional, but
Don't cry. I'm going
yeah,
to
I know, I'm
cry.
sorry. And so I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed, and I'm very thankful to God. And I tell people, lung cancer has been more of a blessing than a curse, and has made me
Yeah.
who I am today, and met wonderful people. And I'm doing great things in the name of God through lung cancer and through my gym. So, you
Yeah.
know, I do thank God. I mean, I don't thank God for it, but I thank God that He has healed me and allowed me to do what He wants me to do. So thank you, MaryAnn. That was really sweet of you.
Oh, I just
So,
love you, Juanita.
like, I love you too, MaryAnn. I wish we lived closer. I
I
live, and then,
know.
you know, and then Dan Wilson, I interviewed him last week. He goes, Juanita is my girl. Thank you, Dan. You're
Yeah.
my boy. You're my brother from another mother. You go, Dan. Love you too, honey. I not just met you, but I love everybody because God said love, love, love. And even though, trust me, I
Yeah.
want to hate some people, I can't.
I know
I
it's
can't.
hard, isn't it?
It's hard.
Damn.
Yes, it's hard. It is hard, but gotta love, you know. So,
Yeah.
but MaryAnn, thank you so much for doing this. I know you were nervous, but I'm glad you did it. You gave us some great information. I think that today was the day for you to go live. Maybe you didn't go then because God wanted you to learn more and
Yeah.
give you more information for you to share today what you shared. And I think what you, especially with the rats and everything that they're doing, that was great information. And it was, you know, God's never late. He's always on time, and He put you here today to share that
Yeah.
wonderful, you know, information. And thank you so much for that, because I learned, so every time I do these videos, I learn something new from everybody, you know. So
Good.
thank you. I love you. God bless you, and you keep up the great work, you know, in Canada, and hopefully I'll see you in April in DC for the, well,
Yeah.
it's not the Hope Summit anymore. I don't know what it's called,
No,
International
what do we call it
Survivorship.
now?
I don't know, International
Yeah.
Survivors Conference or look at something like that. I don't know.
It's way too clinical, or it's way too business-like now.
Yeah,
Hope Summit was awesome,
I
you
know, but it's
know?
okay. I mean, we'll get used to it.
Oh, well.
But
We
yeah,
still
hopefully
know
I'll
what
see
it
you.
is.
Right.
All right.
And yes,
Take
love
care.
you.
Good night,
You too.
everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, share this video, tag people in it, share it in other groups. You can share it in your Canadian site, MaryAnn, so other people could see it.
Yes.
And if you guys don't be afraid, if you want to share your story, please hit me up. I'm booked all the way to December, but today I just bought a new calendar, 2020, so I could start scheduling for January. I have one opening December 26th, but I know that's right after the holiday, so I might not even go Facebook Live on that day because people will probably be on vacation with
Yeah.
family or yeah, so I probably won't do that unless you're Jewish and you don't celebrate Christmas.
There you go.
If you're Jewish or another religion or Muslim and you have lung cancer and you want to share, I'll do it on December 26th. Why not? Hey, so thank you. Right? So thank you guys. I love you all. Good night and God bless you and God bless you, MaryAnn. And I'll see you
Okay.
soon.
Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
You're welcome,
Okay.
sweetheart. Bye.
Bye.